Okay, Andy, this is video hopefully to explain what I'm talking about with the little bug I want fixed. So I've got my exosuit. I can actually leave the exosuit. And on the bottom you have the animation controller. And right now it's on the base layer, which shows like whether I'm swimming or walking or in exosuit or in the seamoth. And so when I get in on the base layer, it has like a get in animation. This is kind of like a draw animation for a tool. It's not actually on a cinematic layer. Oh, I need food. So it works independently from cinematics. All cinematics will override over this layer. So for example, when we do the dock animation, it will override this animation. The only reason, all right, okay, well, let me just one thing at a time. So let's go ahead and dock. And you can notice on the parameters, in exosuit was turned off during the cinematic, which is fine. It left the exosuit base mode, and now I'm walking, so that's good. When an exosuit is turned off, we want it, basically we want the base layer to be at walking at the end. So that is correct. So now when I enter, I'll even do this a little slower so I can talk about it as it happens. You can see that in exosuit is turned on, and in the base layer it's going through the get in animation and going into the idle pose, and that's what we want. We want it to be in the idle pose when the cinematic is over, because during the cinematic it's overriding the whole get in animation anyway, and then at the end of the cinematic it'll end at player the idle animation inside the exosuit. And that's because in exosuit is turned on the parameter. So if I try that again with seamoth, you can see I have the in seamoth is true because I have the enter animation here, which is what we want. And if I do the docking animation, that plays fine. It's the only issue is when undocking. When I enter seamoth, in seamoth is not triggered as true, so it stays in the walking layer on base mode until the end of the cinematic, and then in seamoth is true, and it goes into piloting the seamoth. But when in seamoth is true, it starts the enter animation that I added, I guess, a couple months ago. And so the only, I mean, you may not be able to notice it probably because of the perspective of, yeah, the window view here, but let me slow it down. The main issue is that after I enter the seamoth, again, it's in seamoth is not true. And so now at the end of the cinematic, when it releases, it has the player, he kind of like kicks his legs up and does this whole thing where, because that's all part of the enter animation. So that's the issue. So all I would really need to fix this is in seamoth to be true during the undocking animation, just like how in exosuit is true during the exosuit undocking animation. Okay, hope that makes sense. Let me know if it doesn't.